good morning, everyone, or evening or nighttime, whatever it is, because we're worldwide. It's YouTube. It's the Nerd Report. We have like 1 or 2 viewers in Australia, and that means that it's probably nighttime over there, I think. Yeah. I'm not sure. But
certainly probably nighttime where Steph and those guys are.
In England,
with daylight savings time. I'm sure it's like pitch black by now.
Well, here's the deal, though. That's why I bring you in, my expert. What's up, David? How you doing?
Okay, how are you?
Yeah, pretty good. You know, I'm in the United States, but not much happening in the United States today.
As I posted, you know, it's just Tuesday.
Hold on a second. I see an elephant in the room. Hold on. Okay, a gorilla in the room too. We'll talk about movies if there's any news that has to do with movies or whatever that has to do with pop culture right after this. Craziest thing just happened right now. Like, you guys don't have access to the backstage. I just saw David dancing, dude. I just saw him dancing. Look at that. Look at those moves, man.
Oh, yeah. Well, hey, I used to ballroom dance, man.
Yeah, man, I can tell. You got the moves right there. Michael Jackson, look out. Yeah, did a good job, man. Awesome. Thanks. I wish I could have recorded that.
Well,
do you have any topics you want to start off with, bro?
Well, yeah, I want to know where you got that piece of music from.
Well, that I'm gonna give full credit to Darth Daddy Lunga. He created that intro, and I don't know where he got the music. I'm sure it's royalty free until I get a ding from the copyright police. But yeah, it's a nice little intro there, and I guess it's catchy after a while, right?
Yeah.
It's funny what people ask for, you know, when you start going live or doing the live shows. Like, I actually, because I haven't been on camera, because honestly, like, I'm running around in the morning, and by the time I organize what we have of the show and everything, I'm kind of like beat, and then I don't want to bother color correcting and everything the camera.
No, truly, we know why. You have still in your bathrobe, and you're just don't want to get dinged by YouTube for any unfortunate side boobage that we might see.
But people are asking, why aren't you on camera anymore? They're actually complaining. What's up, Spencer? How you doing?
Hey.
Don't forget to click the like button and share this video. A little bit something different going on earlier today. I'll probably go back on tonight, like at around 9:00. That's a 90% chance. So stay tuned for that. And also, I want to remind everyone that on Thursday night, Friday morning, we're going live reacting with The Mandalorian. As soon as it starts streaming at midnight, we watch it, not here on the channel, but we watch it on our own, and then we jump on and we talk spoilers, predictions, and all the great stuff. Last week we had almost 200 people here live at 1 a.m. dude. It was awesome. It was awesome. Hopefully you can make it, dude. I don't know what time it is.
Oh, it'll be like 4 o'clock in the morning for me, man.
I don't care as long as you're here. I'm gonna here's a little bit of a little topic I found. It's I saw it on Comic Book Movies. I'll give them the credit, but again, I cannot show this site because it has like a zillion pop-ups. You know, it's like everything's a pop-up. So I'm like constantly struggling. Oh, I guess I could press on this. I can show this part, this segment. So as we know, unfortunately, England's going back into lockdown, and let me see if I can get this right here. So Henry Cavill, could you see this?
Yep.
All right.
Maybe you need to move it up a little bit more.
Yeah, let me get this. What's up, K-Dot? K-Dot, we were talking for like really late. Let me try to move this here. Okay.
Yeah, there you go. That's
okay. Henry Cavill, England returns to lockdown on Thursday, so it's time for me to depart to Yorkshire and the extraordinary north and head back down south to continue shooting in the studio. Thank you for hosting all of us on season 2 of The Witcher. Hopefully I shall return to your hill dales and fell soon. Stay strong and stay safe, my friends. Yep. Okay. When Henry Cavill posts, there's always speculation. This means no Snyder cut reshoots for him. So that's what's going on right now.
Yep.
Man, he's in perfect shape right here. But it looks like The Witcher, his priorities are The Witcher, oops. Do you guys still see that?
Yep.
There's no Snyder cut, I guess. And weren't the reshoots this week? So he should have been in the US.
What
yes,
the
he's
hell is
buffed it up.
happening at HBO Max? Oh my god.
Well, there's a problem with Henry Cavill and Superman, and I like his Superman. I like the way he's got the right look, seems to have the right attitude, or could pull off the right attitude.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna go ahead and say it. The character is bigger than the actor. So let's move on. If it can't be done, it's gonna be a big loss. But let's move on, right?
Yep.
I mean, how many Supermen have we had? We've had like 10. They've all been pretty good.
Yeah, between like Smallville's and shows like that, and Superboy, and like all these different shows that were made over the years. So yeah, it's not. And I guess Christopher Reeve can be counted multiple times, according to Superman 3.
Well, we have Christopher Reeves. We have Brandon Routh. He was good. I mean, he's gotten a lot of, like, over the years, he's really gained a fan base. And when he was in Crisis on Infinite Earth, people liked him. You know?
Oh yeah, people didn't like that movie because of him. I think they don't like Kevin Spacey's performance as Lex Luthor, and I don't think the script was very good.
Yeah,
it was a big meandering piece of junk. So
it was too boring.
Yeah, it's like, but I think he was certainly the best part, and there were some great action sequences in that movie. But that whole like retread of Superman 1, where he's just going to Lex Luthor's just trying to make his own continent out of kryptonite. I'm like, I admire the ambition, but it does seem you don't have any guys for this, right?
Who's gonna buy that land? It looks like shit.
Yeah.
We're gonna buy. It's like, dude, really?
Yeah.
No one can live there. They get cancer from the kryptonite.
Yep.
K-Dot's reacting to Henry Cavill's picture. Oh my god, he's so buff. Down boy. Team Sus.
Oh boy.
Yeah. I guess he likes that. So hey man, what did you think of Solo, a Star Wars story?
It's my favorite Star Wars movie.
Period?
No, well, Empire Strikes Back is definitely the best one. I'll say that one. But I like caper movies, and it's a caper movie. You got Woody Harrelson plays a very interesting guy. There are some weaknesses, especially near the end when it's like, oh, he was helping the rebels. And I think we could have saved the whole getting the Millennium Falcon from Lando for another movie or some other situation. Maybe I just thought that was a little bit bad, but I like caper movies. It was a caper movie, and it's the kind of thing I wish we would see more of in Star Wars.
But it's not better than Empire Strikes Back, is it?
Yeah, it's not better. Empire Strikes Back is the best, but my favorite one is Solo because I'm a caper fan.
Okay, favorite. All right.
Yeah, so I really love the fact, and it was like, it's an okay movie. It's not great, but the first act holds way better together than Rogue One. Yes, I did not like the fact that he just made up his names, Han Solo. I thought that was a little dumb. But yeah, they got. I thought when he met up with Chewbacca, that was actually handled pretty well. And how he gets drunk. He's like he thought he would be a pilot, but he didn't get drummed out, and he's a soldier fighting this big battle. And he gets Woody Harrelson and his crew don't want to bring him in, but he somehow gets in, and there's all this and on all this intrigue with the bad guys at the end. Yeah, I really like it. I think there's some weaknesses, but I would like to see more movies take a chance in the way Solo did for the Star Wars universe than what we ended up having, which was retreads. This was actually a new attempt to do something new in the Star Wars universe, and I think we should give it deserves more praise for that too. Instead of like we're just going to tie in the trilogy a little bit more. Like, oh, okay, I guess Rogue One.
Yeah, it was kind of like a repeat of the other thing. It was a reboot.
Yeah.
So Ron Howard was talking to a podcast called Lights Camera Barstool. Never heard of it, but they had Ron Howard, so they must be big.
Yeah.
And he was asked about, basically if there's a sequel in the works or more projects, and he said no rumblings, though, and this is not a spoiler or anything, but I think there's an interest in those characters. He said, I think there's an interest in the gangster world somewhere down the line, but I can assure you there is nothing being developed right now for a movie or Disney Plus.
Yeah.
But one great thing is there's been a lot of affection shown for Solo. And so, of course, that keeps building well for them to eventually turn into a movie.
Yeah, I would love to see a sequel to that story and just have more in that universe. I would love to see maybe a TV show set there. You don't necessarily have to have Han Solo around, but all that criminal intrigue stuff would be great in a TV show. Like,
yeah, he also says Harrison Ford liked Solo and very much was supportive when he saw it. He was gracious and complimentary towards Alden. He said some things publicly, but privately, it was really great to see him put his hand on Alden's shoulder and say, "Great job, kid." And Alden worked so hard for it. It was very high risk situation for him. And he was a cool customer and was really pleased with Alden's work. So there you go.
And I love to see another Ron Howard Star Wars movie. I looked at that when they fired the original guys and they're like, we're bringing Ron Howard. I'm like, oh my God, great. Ron Howard's a great, amazing director. He's done so much great work.
We got a super chat. Thank you, Tom Hanks, Ballsack 69. Love that name. Could you read that one off, David? But I want you to say the name and then read it off, please.
Tom Hanks, Ballsack 69. He. They need to stick to anthology movies for Star Wars. Rogue One and Solo were by far the best Star Wars movies out of all the Disney Star Wars flicks. Yeah.
Dude, I agree.
My only problem with Rogue One is the first act. We really should have, we really should have gotten a chance to really get to know these characters. Why is this guy defecting to bringing us the Death Star plans? Give us just a hint of their motivations. I felt almost all those characters, as the only one is what's his name's character, Forrest Whitaker's character is the only one who has a clear motivation. Everyone else is kind of doing stuff and the other problem is that it's not Rey.
Saw Gerrera.
Yeah, Saul Gerrera, who's in the cartoon, and he shows up, and Forrest plays him there. But also the girl whose name is escaping me,
Jyn Erso.
Yeah, Jyn Erso. You make that movie so much better. Jyn Erso is on a mission of her own. She's with some sort of criminal underground, and she's in there, and the rebels break her out and take her away. And she's like, "What the hell is going on? You know how long it took me to get on that specific prison transport?" And it turns out she has some sort of heist scheme going on, and she's got her own team, a couple other people who try to rescue her from the rebels because of that. And you give her a direction. She doesn't want in the original trailer, "Oh, I'm a rebel, so I rebel," that kind of thing. Give her a story that you've interrupted with your thing. I think that would have been much more interesting.
A lot of it was reshot.
Yeah.
I heard that she was not she did not want to cooperate with the rebels at all. That was the original story, and that later they made her more sympathetic towards the cause to make her more Disney.
Once her dad dies, I think that would have been a perfectly path thing to make her become, "Oh shit, I reconnected with my father briefly. I got the plans from him, and now we've gone, and now we can go blow up and get the thing." I think that would be, or just a reconnection with the father could have changed her mind. He's doing something great to save the universe by bringing the Death Star plans. And
look at all these super chats coming in. Thank you, K-Dots. Rogue One is the only one I liked out of the new Star Wars films. I liked Force Awakens.
The back half of that movie is great. Don't get me wrong. We finally had a real Star Wars in a Star Wars movie. All the stuff that happens after they get to the planet is amazing. And that's why I would give that movie 3 stars, or I'd give it 70 out of my 100 score. But I just feel that first act is so weak it breaks down the movie.
Okay, the only problem I had with Rogue One is something no one talks about. Darth Vader fell way off. Like way off. Like his walk was off. His voice was off the first time we saw him. He was way off. Myra, you're never late, man, but thanks for the super chat. You don't have to apologize. You know, we probably wouldn't have gone on today, but David's like, hey, let's change the topic a little bit. Let's give the YouTube sphere a chance to like think about something else in the, you know, in the election and stuff like that. That's cool. You know, it's a really slow day today, but we'll think of some stuff to talk about. Yeah,
I think having a fascinating talk on Star Wars movies is great.
Yeah. Oh, I love Star Wars, dude. We should just talk about Star Wars. I mean, I have so many theories and stuff. I just hate when the fans have to argue, because if it's not their way, it's no way.
Yeah, and that's just not how it used to be. Like expanded universe people that I would come out of, we would love our stuff. There were terrible books that we didn't want to acknowledge, but I mean, the Thrawn trilogy, that is still to me what really happened, as far as I'm concerned. The Thrawn trilogy of like 5 years after the movies and everything that happens in those books, that's what should have been made. And you do it as an animated.
I hate to say it, but it seemed like George didn't want to do that because he wanted to make his, he wanted to make him his own thing,
Yeah. And as bad as the prequels can be sometimes, like I was all on board with Dooku and in the second movie until the end, when it's revealed he's the secret. He's working for the Emperor the whole time. I was like, no, you've ruined this character. This character, like, can you believe a character who thinks a Jedi thinks that the Empire, there is an evil Darth Force Sith user out there, and he's trying to save the Republic by destroying it and embracing the dark side. And maybe he could be masterly manipulated, but to have him working for him and just be a henchman, what a waste. It's like,
there's a lot of we could have an entire episode on this. We could get into it later, but I don't want to waste it on just like a random morning. Yeah, because I think the Star Wars stuff is fascinating. There's a lot of mystery boxes also in the prequels that were never answered, like Master Sifo-Dyas. Really, I mean, we kind of learned what it is. I don't want to read a book that could easily be disproven later to find out who the characters are. I want to see it in the movie. We
should get Darth Daddy Lunga on, and we should do a series of videos just talking about how we would fix the prequels.
I gotta tell you one thing. I was trying to explain to someone about what Boba Fett is, because the person I was talking to loves the Mandalorian, and when I got to the part that Boba Fett's a clone, I was thinking to myself, "My God, that's stupid." It's stupid. Why did you make the galaxy so small? You know what I mean?
Yep.
Myra M with the super chat. Thank you. This is gonna buy me so much coffee. In the morning, I'm gonna be super active, super hyper. I'm not on coffee right now, so I ran out.
It's better than what my step niece got named. I'll tell you that, Myra.
The what? Okay, let's see what her question is. Since this is about distracting people, what are your thoughts on parents naming their children after pop culture characters? That's fine.
Wait till the series is over before you name your child. That's the one I think is the biggest lesson we could take out of all this.
Yeah.
Don't name your child Daenerys Targaryen until you see what happens in the final episode.
Remember the Fanboys movie where the guy's getting episode 1 tattoos, and he points at the Jar Jar. They're all comparing tattoos, right? He goes, "Look at this one. I got Jar Jar Binks. He's gonna kick ass."
Yep.
Yeah, Jar Jar Binks.
I knew a guy. His name was Devin, and he was named after a character from a show made in Canada called Star Lost.
Oh,
and it was like, and I had been at the Devin, so Devon.
It's not a bad name.
Yeah, it's not a bad name. So that's another thing. So if you can make one that's not that bad. Look at my stepniece. My stepsister named her kid Destiny. I'm like, are you
Back
trying
to
to
the
get
Future?
your daughter a life on the pole? Like, don't give your daughter
Oh,
strychnine.
a lot of a lot of people in LA use that
Mm,
the Destiny and stuff like that.
mm.
Uh, Anakin's a cool name.
Yeah,
Did George make up that name, or is Anakin a common name?
I think he made it up. I think he made
A
some names
good.
up that were just kind of, or he took normal names and just kind of changed them a little bit to be a bit more science fiction-y.
I heard Mace Windu was one of the original.
Mm,
What was going to be that name was going to be used in the original trilogy. The
mm,
original trilogy had better names.
mm-hmm.
I mean, come on, General Grievous. Jesus.
Yeah. What are you naming your characters after freaking wrestlers now?
Speaking of Star Wars, John Boyega, he expressed, disappointment in his character because he felt that Finn was neglected. His storyline where
Oh yeah,
he could have been, and he
that is the most
also
upsetting. The Finn's treatment in that series is the most upsetting thing for me at all, because as far as I'm concerned, it's racist, and I don't throw that term around
mm-mm.
willy nilly. They turned him into a little literal Uncle Tom character, and not in the sense that in the original meaning of that word, which is just a guy who's a fool who has bad things happen to him, and that his treatment in that second movie is
Well,
horrendous.
the way he says Ray like all the time,
Yeah,
like, dude, really?
yeah,
He says Ray like you could have a Ray drinking game,
yep.
and your liver will be shot by the end of the series.
Mm-hmm.
Um, well, actually, he spoke up his concerns, and Disney did get in touch with him. There's not much about what they talked about, but he expressed his concerns, and they expressed their side.
Yep.
I'm gonna say this. I like to think people are good. Usually, that's why I'm like Superman.
Yeah,
I've
I
been
think
told that.
if Jj Abrams had the control of that series the entire way through, it would have been fine. It wouldn't have been amazing. It would have been fine. And I
Here's what
think we
happened.
would have had.
Here's what I think happened, David, and you guys in the chat, let me know. Finn was set up perfectly in the first movie, and then in the second one, they got a new director that had no idea what the first director was doing.
Yep.
The storyline, he did his own stuff, and there was nothing they could do. They could have not. It's a Skywalker saga. They can't stop the movie and give you the Finn arc. You get what I mean?
Well, it's not the Skywalker saga. It's now the Palpatine saga.
Exactly. But they try to do a clever little take on it.
Yeah,
I like Ray being a nobody. That's the way I liked it. From there's a trailer actually for The Force Awakens where Maz Kanata's voice, you hear it, and you hear her saying, "Who are you?" And Ray answers, "I'm nobody." So that's not really something that surprised me in The Last Jedi. I like the idea that the Force could just gravitate to a random person.
Oh yeah, no,
that's
that
awesome.
was not. That was, but I thought that was Finn's arc. I think Finn was a nobody.
I think
Finn
should have.
He was going to be a Jedi, as far as I can tell. That's the thing he's trying to tell Rey in the final movie.
For sure that is.
Yeah,
there's no doubt. They confirmed
he's trusting the Force a lot in the final movie, and I think that's something that JJ wants to show in his true final cut. But yeah,
I don't know if there's a cut, man. I
think there's more footage that he'll put back in.
I heard they were in a rush to they ran out of time. They pretty much used almost everything they had. Because it's 2 years, man. It's like it's not really a long time, especially when you have to like pretty much rewrite the script and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I'm disappointed they didn't take care of the Star Wars saga. This is Star Wars, man. It's not like
this is a big deal. This is like, you know what? Rupert Murdoch said he was really pissed off when he learned that the thing was on the table because he would have paid more. He would, and I think Rupert Murdoch is smart enough to know.
Who does he work with?
But he's the owner of Fox. He's the guy who now is walking around with $80 billion from the Fox deal.
So what could he have done with it, though?
I think he would have. well, he would have bought it. He would have brought it to Fox Studios where it would have been. So when we saw those new movies, we would have had the 20th Century Fox fanfare, which I wanted. That's when the movie started and we didn't get the
well,
Fox
especially the
fanfare,
last one.
I was
The last one
disappointed.
should have had it.
Yeah, and we have all the. I think he would have brought in some directors. He would have taken care of it. He would have included George Lucas because he's like, I want to make the most money. Sure, I'm going to use your genius. We're not going to destroy you. And just like he would have tried to make it as pure as Star Wars as possible. I don't know which directors he would have brought in because he's not the creative controller guy. And we have seen Fox make terrible decisions before. But I think they would just brought in a team and they would have been following what Kevin Feige was doing at Marvel. So they would have brought in a writing team. They would have had an overall showrunner. They would have planned it out and they would have had a story and they would bring in Lucas to creatively consult like Paramount used to do with Roddenberry, and they would take his good ideas and throw out his bad ideas. And so I don't think we would have seen the Wills at all, but I'm sure Lucas had some great set scenes and some ideas, and they would have just made a much better trilogy because Fox cared more.
Yeah. Well, I kind of think, I don't know, for some reason I'm pulling to Warner Brothers.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, Warner Brothers would have been the best studio, of course. But I mean, like, it's just the what ifs, what could have beens are so great.
I don't think it's a good idea to make everyone related, like Boba Fett and Django and all that and stuff like that. I have a question. Why was Myra's super chat red? I don't understand how that works. See that?
I think she used a sticker, maybe?
Is it a sticker? Myra, let me know what that is.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's weird. Hold on 1 second.
Mm-hmm.
I had to sneeze. It's embarrassing. Mm-hmm. I know people blame Kathleen Kennedy, but also blame Jj Abrams. I don't know. I give Jj Abrams a pass.
Yeah, he's to blame for not sticking with it.
Well, the mystery boxes weren't that difficult to use your creative imagination and have some sort of satisfactory conclusion to them. The ones in The Force Awakens, but then they got really complicated in The Last Jedi. I have an interview with Jj Abrams that I cannot find the audio for. Huh. I know I have it somewhere in a hard drive and I never posted it. And I was doing the press tour, the press conference for Star Trek. And I believe it was the last Star Trek 3, the third one, or it was the second one. I don't remember, but he was, he's a producer on those. And as everyone was leaving, all the actors, I followed them, and I go and I had my mic on and everything. I go, hey, Mr. Abrams, how you doing? And he said, and I asked him, are you going to return to Star Wars? This was, while The Last Jedi was being created, and he said, I don't have any plans for that right now. I want to do things that are smaller. He goes, I want to do some independent stuff that's not attached to any series or anything. And that was, how would I say, he was saying that for a while in several interviews that he didn't want to do any franchises, anything that was part of a franchise and stuff. But I guess they found themselves in trouble with The Last Jedi after The Last Jedi, I guess. I mean, we're assuming, for all we know, they're happy with The Last Jedi. You know what I mean? They, corporations, there's us, and then the corporations, sometimes they don't even know what's going on the ground, right? So they may be like, Last Jedi was the best thing ever. I don't know.
I don't think they think The Last Jedi is the best thing ever. I think they are disappointed by it. And they're doing some damage control stuff.
I'll give you an example. Major corporations keep using the word Latinx to persuade Hispanic and Latin people, and they don't watch the hundreds of thousands of backlash they get on Twitter. They keep posting it. They're insulting
because they pleasing the people who use Latinx is more important to them than
there's
for
only
whatever
two.
reason than Latin people.
Yeah. Well, I think it's an ego. They're using their ego. I mean, it was very disappointing to see. Well, I'll tell you off the thing because if people think I'm going to be get political, but major politician used that word yesterday. I was so disappointed. But anyways, we'll get back to talking. Any other topics you guys want to talk about? Yeah, I gotta be honest, I do love Boba Fett and Jango Fett because the way their attitude, the way they push themselves and stuff, the way they carry themselves, because they're like Maoris and Pacific Islanders. I don't like the fact that they're clones though, because I feel the galaxy got smaller and smaller and everything needs to get explained. And it's like, dude, I just wish they were just some random awesome bounty hunters. That would have been awesome.
Yeah.
Hey, like Mando has really no connection, well, at least that we know of. He's not related to Luke or the Empire in any way. He's just some orphan kid, right? Or a kid that was about to become an orphan. That's awesome, I think.
Yeah.
But yeah, there we go. All right, man. Any last thoughts, David, before we wrap it? I gotta help my mom.
We can certainly need to start. Maybe we need to talk Star Trek in the future and argue over that. I don't know.
I love Star Trek. I just don't know crap about it. I don't want to sound like a moron. But hey, let's do this, David. Let's start some Star Trek because people on YouTube love Star Trek. And tell me where to start. Do you want me to start with the original 60s? I am familiar, kind of familiar.
We start with the original 60s.
Should we start reviewing episodes?
Sure, we can.
Like from the start?
Yeah, some of those episodes at the start are not that great, but yeah, we should.
What did you say? Some of them aren't that great?
Yeah, they're still you're like any show. The first few episodes you're finding your feet, figuring out your rhythms, and the writing.
And oh boy, I remember that Spock guy having so many emotions in the first episode.
Yeah. You need to kill him. Like, what?
Here we go, Myra. Myra, thanks for supporting. Hey guys, Myra can't carry this channel on her own. Kick in a couple of super chats, man. I have to send David some coffee too. You know what I'm talking about? I gotta send him some treats, man. Keep him happy. Myra, I appreciate you. K Dots and everyone else who super chatted, but there's only 2 people doing it, 2 or 3 people. So if you guys could go in there, I see some members though, so I appreciate the members as well.
Yeah, the members.
But whatever you could. Hey, look, if you can't do it, at least press like and share this video, and at least we'll get the support that way. Myra says, David, I hate to disagree. Fans wanted Lucas out because they were still pissed off over the prequels. I agree with that, Myra.
Oh yeah,
At the time they existed, that he was left out. Yes, he did. But when you watch the prequels now, they're okay compared to what we got.
Yeah, yeah, like the grass is always greener. I have found, but yeah, the prequels just. Lucas is a bit off his edge by then we get older and we're not always as good as we were when we were our brilliant prime youth. And I think he was that way. I think the big problem for George Lucas was there was no what's his name? Who's the producer on Star Wars and Empire?
Gary Kurtz.
There's no Gary Kurtz. I have a.
And there's no Marcia Lucas. There's no.
Yeah. So we already we're starting to see it in Return of the Jedi. Some of the creative decisions weren't quite up, but because the movie is still good, really good, we kind of ignore those things. But like now, I'm older and I'm a writer, and I see the problems. But yeah, so George Lucas just had no one to tell him no one to tell him this is stupid. And so we got to indulge in things that really weren't that great. But we get the prequels are just worth it. The first movie, Phantom Menace, is worth it just for the Duel of the Fates. I can watch that over and over again.
but I gotta tell you, man, Phantom Menace, like Darth Maul was barely in it.
Yep.
He was an idiot. The Duel of the Fates, he kept cutting towards Anakin, not using the Force, but accidentally killing the bad guys or winning. And it's like, dude, there's some things that are just cringeworthy. Like, you know how they're all slaves on Tatooine and they're building the pod racer. They're fixing the pod racer. One of the slave girls has braces on. It's like, dude, that's cringe, dude. This is Star Wars, man. Like, You got to take care of this stuff more. I understand,
Hmm.
like, did you know that?
I didn't. I don't recall it because I haven't seen the movie since I first watched it in the theater.
Yeah, there's like stuff like that. There's stuff like it really feels like a lot of the prequels, the actors weren't really interacting with actors, even though the actors were human. Like for example, there are times where like there's lines of dialogue where one actor asks the other one a question and they come back with an answer that has nothing to do with the question.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? Did you notice that?
Yeah.
It was like, what is
George
this?
Lucas is a clunky writer.
And then there's the weird thing where like, okay, there's two things, and then we could go on forever. There's two things, like Senator Amidala, right? Her name's Amidala. Everyone knows her name's Amidala, right? So how the hell is Padme Amidala a decoy? You're using the same name, man. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
And then there's a thing where like Yoda uses the clone army that was developed by a Sith Lord. That
I know that's always bothered me.
What the?
Like, wait, don't you think? Why is this army just? There's an army just lying around. Let's just use it. Shouldn't we like check that out?
Yeah, and they all look like the guy Dooku hangs out with. Gee, do you think Dooku's in charge of that army you're using?
Yeah, like what
the hell is this?
What the hell?
And then the thing where like it's not even really funny. I'm just like frustrated with it. The thing where Obi-Wan doesn't remember R2D2.
Oh no.
Owning a droid.
He does remember R2D2 if you follow the lines, what he says there. I don't remember owning any droids.
David, look into the camera and tell me that was intended. Please. No.
Oh, no. I don't think it was intended, but I think yes and no. I think that Lucas actually watched his own movie and set it up like I do this when I'm writing and running games where I'm like, how do I tie this back in? So when I wrote the third movie, he writes the third movie, blanks the droid's memories, and then he says, let me look at Obi-Wan's lines again. Yes, he doesn't say he owns the thing. Because they were Anakin's droids.
I also have a problem that when he says Anakin was a great friend and stuff like that, I was like, where, dude? It seemed like in Revenge of the Sith he had to rush the friendship. Like, because they were like arguing through the entire prequels in the last half an hour.
Have you watched Clone Wars?
I know, but I'm going movies.
Lucas is aware of what's happening in Clone Wars. He's writing that. So a lot of the stuff that we see in that is in the number 2 and number 3 is coming out of the Clone Wars stuff he was writing at the same time.
Look,
so
there's a lot of fixed a lot of that.
He does do a bit of trying to do damage control on his screw ups.
Exactly, damage control. You hit the head.
Yeah, as a writer, I've done it.
Yeah,
like I was in this situation where I was writing this scene, and I'm like, because it was a live game with other people that I was running. I blurted out something, and I said, "This guy." Oh yes, we have some concerns over this person, and then I thought to myself, "Oh shit, that guy has no way of knowing that information," and then I just rolled with it and got it. Came up with another motivation, which was a political move, and this kind of stuff happens. You're a writer, I have a book. I have 65,000 words. I have to keep a glossary of all the characters because I can't remember who everyone is. And I know when I go back and edit, I'm going to be like, "Oh shit, I called him that name for that time. I called him this name for this." I'm like, you got to be consistent through the writing process. That's why you don't publish the first draft. You gotta go through and do it 2 or 3 times.
The prequels to me felt like a first draft.
Yeah, I'll agree with that.
Yeah. All right, everyone. David, thanks for spending the time here with us, man.
Yeah, great.
Everyone who participated in the chat and watched, thank you very much. We'll be back very soon. Don't forget to sub if you have not. Follow David. What's your channel? You want to pimp your channel?
Oh yeah, I'm at the Spy Guy on there. I have like 25 people now. I did a review of The Hunt for Red October, the greatest Halloween movie of all time. I'm making that happen. That's a thing now. So, like Die Hard is a Christmas movie, Hunt for Red October, because Sean Connery died that day, sadly. And that movie's great. You can go watch my review on it. It's slightly spoilery, but you know what? The movie's from 20 years old. If you haven't seen it now, you should watch it and then watch my review.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's get him to 30 subs by the end of the week. And you can follow me at Nerdlecca on Twitter, here, and everywhere else. I don't know what I'm doing half the time, but you could everyone here could guide me to the right path. Nerd out.